One of the most powerful psychological explanations for this is the Zeigarnik effect, which states that our minds tend to remember unfinished or interrupted tasks more than completed ones. If you have unresolved emotions towards someone, whether it's love, anger, longing, or regret, your brain keeps bringing them to the forefront in an attempt to find closure. This is why people often replay conversations, past interactions, and what-ifs in their heads when they feel emotionally invested in someone. Dopamine, the brain's pleasure chemical, also plays a significant role. When you are emotionally or physically attracted to someone, your brain releases dopamine, making interactions with them feel rewarding and pleasurable. The more you think about them, the more dopamine gets released, creating a cycle of addiction-like behavior. This is why love and infatuation often feel similar to addiction, because at a neurological level, they share some of the same pathways as drug addiction. For women, the attachment process is deeply influenced by oxytocin, often referred to as the bonding hormone. Women naturally produce higher levels of oxytocin, especially after emotional connections, intimate moments, or deep conversations. This hormone strengthens emotional attachment and can make it significantly harder to stop thinking about someone with whom they've shared a deep emotional experience. The stronger the emotional connection, the more the brain rewires itself to associate that person with comfort, security, and happiness. In romantic relationships, a psychological phenomenon known as limerence can also explain why thoughts of someone become obsessive. Limerence is an intense emotional state, where a person feels overwhelming infatuation and longing for someone, often idealizing them in their mind. This can lead to constant daydreaming, analyzing every interaction, and searching for hidden meanings in their words or actions. Limerence often occurs in the early stages of attraction, but for some people, it can persist for months or even years, making it nearly impossible to move on. Social media has made it even harder to stop thinking about someone. Seeing their pictures, reading their posts, or watching their stories can trigger a fresh wave of emotions, reinforcing the mental attachment. The brain struggles to differentiate between physical presence and virtual presence, so even if you're not seeing them in person, the digital connection keeps them alive in your mind. This is why many psychologists recommend limiting exposure to an ex's social media or someone you're trying to forget. Unconscious emotional triggers also play a major role in why you can't stop thinking about someone. Sometimes it's not even the person themselves that keeps you fixated, but what they represent in your life. They may remind you of a past experience, a deep-seated desire, or an unresolved issue within yourself. For example, if you had an emotionally distant parent, you might find yourself attracted to someone with similar traits, subconsciously trying to fix the past through your present interactions. Another powerful psychological reason is mirroring. When we spend time with someone we deeply connect with, we start mirroring their behaviors, expressions, and even thought patterns. This deepens the sense of familiarity and comfort, making it harder to detach from them emotionally. Our brains are designed to seek social bonds, and when we lose one, it can feel like an actual physical withdrawal, similar to withdrawal symptoms from addictive substances. Fear of rejection or abandonment can further intensify obsessive thoughts about someone. If you were emotionally vulnerable with them and didn't receive the response you hoped for, your mind keeps replaying the situation, searching for answers or ways to fix it. This is particularly common in women, as studies show that women are more likely to overanalyze social interactions and dwell on past emotional experiences compared to men. Another interesting psychological aspect is the mere exposure effect. The more you are exposed to someone, whether in person or online, the more familiar and appealing they become to your brain. This explains why people develop crushes on co-workers, classmates, or even online acquaintances. Constant exposure creates a sense of emotional closeness, even if the connection isn't deeply personal. Daydreaming and fantasizing about someone also strengthen their presence in your mind. The brain doesn't distinguish much between real experiences, and vividly imagined ones. So each time you replay a memory or imagine a future scenario with them, your brain reinforces their importance in your life. This is why people who frequently visualize interactions with their crush or ideal partner often find it harder to move on. If you're struggling to stop thinking about someone, there are psychological techniques to help regain control over your thoughts. One effective method is cognitive restructuring, which involves consciously changing your thought patterns. Instead of focusing on what-ifs or past interactions, shift your thoughts toward your own personal growth and future goals. Another technique is mindfulness, which helps bring your awareness to the present moment, preventing your mind from getting stuck in obsessive loops. Creating new experiences and distractions is also crucial. Engaging in activities that bring you joy, spending time with supportive friends, and meeting new people can help weaken the emotional hold that person has over you. The brain forms new neural pathways when introduced to new stimuli, which can help replace old, obsessive thoughts with fresh, empowering ones. Understanding the psychology behind why you can't stop thinking about someone is the first step in breaking free from the cycle. Whether it's due to emotional attachment, unresolved feelings, or the way your brain processes relationships, recognizing the root cause can help you regain control. While it may feel overwhelming at times, remember that thoughts and emotions are not permanent. They change and evolve with time. By focusing on self-growth and emotional healing, you can shift your perspective and create a healthier mindset, allowing you to move forward with clarity and confidence. Have you ever found yourself unable to stop thinking about someone? No matter how much you try, it's as if their presence lingers in your mind, taking up space in your thoughts throughout the day, and even invading your dreams at night. This phenomenon is more common than you might think, and psychology provides fascinating insights into why this happens, especially when it comes to the way women process emotions and attachments. When you can't stop thinking about someone, it often signals a deep emotional connection or an unresolved feeling tied to that person. Your brain becomes fixated on them due to various psychological triggers, such as emotional bonding, attraction, or even past trauma. The mind is wired to seek closure, and when it doesn't get it, thoughts about a particular person can loop endlessly, creating an obsessive pattern that can be hard to break.